It is February 23rd, and I am coming live to you from San Antonio, Texas, talking today about making data-driven decisions when it comes to deciding how you talk about a certain topic online. What I am about to show you is so valuable in all aspects that pertain to your public communications. It will help you with choosing the right words on blog posts, in social media posts, in choosing titles, in choosing subject lines for emails. It will be so very helpful if you understand how to leverage online tools that are, for the most part, free for you to use, that give you insight into data that you can use to leverage your online communication. If you find this live stream later, please do not hesitate to leave a comment, because I will make sure I will connect with you and I will make sure to find out what you talk about online. Since a large part of my audience is composed of physicians, doctors, chiropractors, all kinds of healthcare professionals, I'm going to use the example of doctors or physicians. What should we call them? At the most basic level, if you talk about yourself as a healthcare professional and you happen to have a medical doctor's degree, and you focus on the target audience, general population that wants a family practitioner or just general healthcare advice, do you call yourself doctor or do you call yourself physician? And you might have personal opinions about that. You might think that one term sounds more professional than the other. You might think that a doctor in general could be a doctor in any field. We know that a PhD is a doctor in philosophy, which of course has nothing to do with medicine, right? Nonetheless, it is always important in marketing to understand that you need to speak your audience's language. Whatever they think you are, that's what you should call yourself. To give you an example, I studied web development and I started out as a web developer. A web developer is someone who codes websites. However, most people at that time who spoke to me and were looking to find someone to build a website, they would refer to me as a web designer, even though the process of web design is a completely different one. It is a skill set that has nothing to do with being a web developer. However, the moment I started using their language and I started saying, I am a web designer to that audience, where I knew exactly that is going to ring a bell for them, the moment I started doing that, I started having better conversations. So let's go back at the question at hand. Do you want to call yourself a doctor or a physician? And how can you use publicly available data to make that decision? I'm going to share my screen now. We are going to use two tools. One is absolutely free to use, and the other one is super affordable. You can upload $10 and it'll probably last you for a whole year. Okay, so the first one is Google Trends. Let me share my screen. Google Trends is Google's way of showing you search volume in a particular field tied to particular keywords. So I'm going to trends.google.com, and I have this search field here, and I will conveniently type in the keyword doctor. And what it does is it shows me interest over time. I can look at the past 12 months, but I can also look at the past 5 years. Let's maybe do that. And I see, there is a certain search volume that is pretty constant here over the past 5 years. Now, I want to put that in comparison with the word physician. Okay, so I'm gonna come here and I am going to compare the search term doctor to the search term physician. And as you can see, in the United States, it is very, very close, right? But the average shows that physician is used a little bit more than doctor. And while that may not look as if it will make much of a difference, in terms of reaching people and in terms of making sure that the content you output reaches an appropriate audience, that does make a big difference, right? As you can also see, it shows us that, well, if you live in Alaska or Oregon or Washington or Utah, looks like there's a slight preference towards the word doctor. Okay. So you can, of course, get more granular with these searches. Let's say, for example, you want to make the distinction between a doctor near me or a physician near me. What is the difference in search volume there? So I will enter here doctor near me and see what that gives me in yellow. Okay, so I think I'm gonna remove doctor and physician so we can have a better view, because it's a different skill, a different scale. Okay, so now that's back in blue. And we can see the doctor near me search term. And we can also see that over the past 5 years, it's been slightly increasing. And that, of course, is not surprising because of the course of events that happen, right? By the way, you can scroll down here and you can see related topics and related queries, and it'll show you a breakout, which is always interesting if you are interested in maybe new topics or you do some market research and you want to know what to do next. And very interesting here, medical marijuana doctor near me and functional medicine doctor near me. Obviously, people are opening up the idea to the idea of a holistic approach, of not so traditional approaches, right? So that is good information. Now let's compare doctor near me to physician near me. Okay. Wait. I gotta edit that to physician near me. Okay, now you can see that is quite a staggering difference, right? I mean, if I were to talk about on my website, if I would call myself physician versus doctor, and I know that people Google a doctor near me or physician near me when they try to find a general practitioner, well, now here is very, very clear data that is probably better to talk about being a doctor. Okay, so this is Google Trends, very valuable. Now, the second tool, which we can basically use to verify and confirm these findings, is something that I have integrated into my Google search. And essentially, when I now perform the search doctor near me, you can see that I'm getting these this data here. And that comes from a plugin called Keywords Everywhere. Okay, so as I said, it's very, very affordable. It works with credits. I think I once uploaded credits for $10 and I still have 90,000 left. Okay, so not an expensive tool at all. But what it shows me here is that the term doctor near me is searched for 246,000 times per month. And then this is what, if people buy that click to be listed here, this ad on average costs $5.99. And then this here is a competition factor. If you're interested in ranking for this keyword with SEO, then you want this competition to be low. Okay, it's this is actually a search term that is worth optimizing for, because there's high search volume and relatively low competition. And so if you are an owner of a clinic, you might want to talk to your marketing team and say, hey, I want one page on my site to be optimized for doctor near me. But let's now look at physician near me. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to search for physician near me. And you can see that the search volume is only 22,000 per month. And then the competition is 0.26. So comparing this to each other, the data speaks a clear language, right? Very clear. And not only does it speak a clear language, it's also kind of verified by Google Trends. And these are two different sources of data that basically confirm the same outcome, okay? So if this is something that was of interest to you and helpful to you, I do recommend going to my link here and making sure that you attend one of my future workshops. I do talk about LinkedIn optimization every week at 8:30 Central Time, and that is absolutely for free. And then I also have an interesting email newsletter that I send out. I write it myself. It's not a sales newsletter, it's an informational newsletter. And you can find the link for that as well if you visit this. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Be sure to always learn, be hungry, and I'll see you very soon again on the internet. Bye-bye for now.